In Babylon, Daniel was the king's favorite helper, wise, honest, and faithful to God. The other helpers grew jealous and plotted against him. They realized Daniel's only fault was his devotion to God. So they tricked King Darius into signing a law for 30 days. No one could pray to anyone but the king. The punishment? The lion's den. King Darius, flattered, signed the law, not realizing it was a trap for Daniel. The law was posted everywhere: pray only to King Darius, or face the lions. The jealous men smirked, knowing Daniel would never stop praying to his God. Their plan was set. They watched Daniel's house, waiting for him to break the new law. The city buzzed with talk of the new rule, but Daniel's faith was about to be tested. The king had no idea he'd just endangered his most loyal friend. The jealous men felt powerful, certain their scheme would work. Daniel's fate now hung in the balance. The stage was set for a showdown between faith and fear. The law could not be changed, not even by the king himself. The trap was ready, and the lions waited. Would Daniel's faith survive the test? Daniel heard about the law, but he wasn't afraid. He went home, opened his window toward Jerusalem, and prayed, just as he always did. He prayed 3 times a day, thanking God and asking for wisdom. Daniel's faith was unshaken by threats or laws. The jealous men spied on him, saw him praying, and rushed off to tell the king. Daniel knew the risk, but his trust in God was greater than his fear of lions. He didn't hide or change his routine. His prayers were open for all to see. The men whispered, "We've got him now." They cared only for their own power, not for justice. Daniel finished praying, feeling peace in his heart. He trusted God completely, no matter what would happen next. Daniel's faith shone bright, even as danger closed in. The men hurried to the palace, eager to see Daniel punished. Daniel stood firm, his heart calm and steady. He knew God was with him. The trap had sprung, but Daniel's faith would not break. The real test was about to begin. The jealous men burst into the palace, demanding the king enforce his law. "Daniel has broken your law!" they cried. King Darius was devastated. He realized too late he'd been tricked. He tried all day to save Daniel, searching for a loophole. But the law could not be changed. The king's heart was heavy as he ordered Daniel's arrest. He told Daniel, "May your God, whom you serve so faithfully, rescue you." The king's regret was deep, but he was powerless to stop what he'd set in motion. Daniel was brought before the king, calm and unafraid. The king's voice trembled with hope for a miracle. Daniel's fate was sealed by a law meant to destroy him. The king could only watch and hope. Daniel's faith was his only defense. The lion's den awaited. Would God answer the king's desperate hope? Guards led Daniel to the lion's den, a dark pit echoing with hungry roars. The lions prowled, their eyes glowing in the shadows. Daniel was calm, trusting God even as he was lowered into the den. The stone was rolled over the entrance and sealed with the king's ring. No one could save Daniel now except God. The jealous men watched, certain of their victory. The king turned away, heartbroken. Inside, Daniel prayed, surrounded by lions. The den was cold and silent, except for the lions breathing. Daniel focused on God, not the danger. The world outside slept, but inside the den, faith faced its greatest test. The king's seal meant no escape. The lions waited, but Daniel's faith was unshaken. Would God protect him in the darkness? The night was long, and hope seemed far away. Daniel's trust in God was his only shield. The outcome rested in God's hands. In the darkness, a miracle happened. The lions grew calm and lay down around Daniel. God sent an angel, and the lions' mouths were shut. A gentle, heavenly light filled the den. Daniel felt safe, surrounded by God's presence. The lions became peaceful, like gentle guardians. Daniel rested, his faith rewarded. Outside, King Darius could not sleep or eat, tormented by worry. He paced all night, praying for Daniel's safety. Inside the den, faith triumphed over fear. Daniel was untouched, protected by God's power. The night passed quietly, a miracle unfolding in the darkness. The king waited for dawn, desperate for good news. Daniel's faith had brought light to the darkest place. The lions slept, and Daniel's trust was unbroken. Morning would reveal the outcome. At dawn, King Darius rushed to the den, calling out for Daniel. His voice trembled with hope and fear. From inside, Daniel answered, "My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths. I am unharmed." The king was overjoyed. Daniel was lifted from the den without a scratch. The king embraced him, tears of relief streaming down his face. The people cheered at the miracle. Daniel's faith had saved him. The king's regret turned to joy. The power of faith had triumphed over fear and danger. Daniel stood safe in the morning light. The story of his rescue spread through the city. The king punished the wicked men who had plotted against Daniel. Then he sent a decree to the whole kingdom. Fear and honor the God of Daniel, who saves and performs wonders. Daniel's story became a lesson for all. Faith is stronger than fear. Even in the darkest pit, trust in God brings light. Daniel's courage inspired everyone. When you face hard times, remember Daniel's faith. Pray, trust, and let your faith shine bright. God is always with those who trust him. Daniel's story reminds us faith can overcome any danger. The lion's den became a place of miracles. Let your faith be your shield, just like Daniel's. Trust in God and you will never be alone.